Before I begin, I'm going to say that I'm going to be talking about Veilguard spoilers from the preview event, so this is your verbal warning to turn back now. If you just want to know what I think of what I played, I loved it. Alright, now scoot so I can get into the details. And to make sure you're actually gone, if you're looking to pre-order Veilguard or purchase any of the DA games on the EA app, why not throw in the code GIL during checkout? I will get a small kickback from it, and while it is not a coupon code, you do get the peace of mind that a small percentage of the money is going to help pay my rent and not another CDO's bonus. So earlier this month, I was able to go to the Dragon Age The Veilguard preview event. Me and over 100 others played about 7 hours of the game in a much more final state. And I'd been very blessed to actually play 2 other earlier versions of Veilguard through the Dragon Age Community Council. I wasn't originally going to make a video like this, as it's a bit obvious that the girl obsessed with Dragon Age would like the new Dragon Age game. But as I listened to review after review, they often come from like a place of either being new to the series or, well, having enjoyed the previous games, they just don't have that mental obsession that I and many of the longtime viewers have. So yeah, let's just kind of get into what I really love about Veilguard. So I could just go on forever about scenes I like, or that I like Solas, or I'm excited about the lore reveals and the deepening mysteries and things that like made me audibly gasp at the preview event. But I think a lesser game could have all of those things and just not capture me. But from what I have seen so far, and what I think this game has really nailed, and what I think this game really needed to nail to like really live up to being a Dragon Age title, is the heart. I've talked about this in my review of perhaps the worst piece of media holding the Dragon Age title, the IDW comics, which I do find deeply funny how these end up being so important to the Dragon Age series as like a touchstone on what not to do. But anyway, to me, Dragon Age is about people. It's about their reactions and emotions to tragedy and life, and really trying to understand that. Even in Origins, Loghain pulls his troops out of Ostagar. Why? If you thought, yes, it was because he wanted more power, I'm sorry, I am taking Dragon Age away from you. This is not a joke. This series gives you an opportunity to really delve into his psyche, from the Stolen Throne, where you learn his traumatic backstory with Orlais and his relationship with Caitlyn's mother Rowan, to even just talking with the man in Origins. It was never about the power. It was about what he's lost and being too scared to lose again. Jumping back to Veilguard, I obviously have not finished the game, so I can't promise you a satisfactory resolution on character arcs, but what I can promise is a solid start. It's deeply unfortunate that my favorite part of Veilguard so far was not actually in the preview event, so I apologize for being so vague, but I can pinpoint the moment when I knew this game could hold up. Sometime in the early game, I forget exactly where, as this was well over a year ago that I had a chance to play this version, but you get to talk to Bellara and really have like an honest conversation about her past, and she says something, and something just resonated with me deeply in where I was at in the moment. And I could probably quote it to you right now, actually, were I able to. Every so often, it rings in my head in her voice, and it was the same feeling I had when listening to a Meriden tell the Inquisitor to take moments of happiness, when Aveline tells Hawke to mourn at their own pace. And the funny thing is, some of you who might be like watching post-release might have played that part and it just didn't stick with you. Perhaps like some of the examples I gave just now from previous games. But my main point here is that the heart is here. They keep saying it in the marketing, but I'm here to report that I've seen it, I've heard it, I've felt it. Peel away all that marketing BS, just like every other Dragon Age game. The focus is on the emotional storytelling. Veilguard is about Solas and his traumatic past. It's about your companion's problems and helping them overcome them. It's apparently about regret, because that is coming up a lot in the media circuit, but I'm a bit scared as to what that could mean. But yes, even in just the short amount of time I spent with the game, I think it can easily hold up to the previous entries to the series. Now, before I let you leave, I do want to talk about one series of scenes that I can elaborate more on, but it is very spoilery, so your mileage may vary on the next bit here. This is your final warning. If you don't want to know about the big Solas thing, turn back now. Okay, so I want to talk about the Solas memory. Sort of. See, there are more, and unfortunately I unlocked and played through a number of them during a part of the game we were not allowed to capture. But thankfully IGN has published some snippets on the part I just really want to talk about. The bits where you have a group meeting on Solas' memories. Now, as a Lord nerd, I also deeply loved this bit of the game. Solas aside, these meetings allow the characters to bounce ideas off each other and to Rook, and you really try to analyze the things you saw and heard. It's a great show of everyone's personalities, as well as talking about the history of the world and everyone's unique perspective on Thedas. It's kind of hard to describe without using details, but the things that were brought up was like talking to my friends on Discord about the lore of the world and what things could mean. I was watching these scenes and just thinking, oh my god, I have had this exact conversation a dozen times in the past 10 years, and it's just so rewarding, I guess, to see people who live in that world connect dots that we do. I can't promise you that Veilguard will be perfect. I can't promise that you'll like it. But I can say that as someone who has, no joke, probably thought about Dragon Age every day for the past 10 years, Veilguard gets the one thing right it needed to. The people.